today I want to give you the first step, okay? The first step to get yourself on the way to become $1 million builder. I'm on this thing at the moment because it just seems to be what everyone wants to be as a recruiter. If you caught my talk at Talent X the other week, you would have heard me talk about the mindset of $1 million builder, okay? So this episode is the next step in my mind. So as a quick recap for you, the mindset of $1 million builder is kind of like three core areas, right? You've got the sort of like fundamental stuff, like your like sleep, your water, your blood flow, and all sorts of stuff. Then you've kind of got your energy awareness, planning your week, your days, and your weeks, and your months, and your calendar around when your peaks and troughs are in terms of energy, motivation, that sort of stuff. And then the third sort of like mindset component for becoming $1 million biller for me is that resilience muscle. Okay, so practicing how do you get up from a knockdown quickly? How can you bounce back from something that doesn't go your way? That sort of stuff. So again, that's a whole freaking 15-minute talk that I've just given you in 30 seconds. But this episode is the next step. Okay, now you got the mindset right. What would be the first thing you would start looking at, Brett? And it's a really simple one, and you can start doing this right away, okay? Difficult to execute in that you're currently not achieving this, but I'm going to guess if you're not $1 million biller, you're inconsistent. So many billers, and I was the same, will have, let's say you're making $500K a month, a year at the moment. If I were to look at every month, you're going to have a bunch of zeros in there. You're going to have a bunch of big 60 to 80K months, and you're going to have the rest littered with like sort of like 30 to 40s, okay? It's super inconsistent. And so if you want to get to $1 million, you can't be inconsistent. If you want to make $1 million, you need to be doing 88,000, is it 88,000? Something like that a month, every month for 12 months straight, okay? And right now you've only got a couple of those in the mix. So the first step to becoming $1 million biller, okay, is actually, it will feel like you're not moving the needle. Because what I recommend is, let's just say you're a 500K biller and you want to go to $1 million. I'm going to say to you, and I didn't even do the math before this, but I'm going to say to you, you want to do 500 grand over the course of the next 12 months consistently. So if you do $500,000 divided by 12 months, I want to see $40,000 to $42,000 months every single month. I don't want to see a zero, and I don't want to see this big burst. I'll take the big burst if you've got that 41, 42 grand consistently. I'll take an 80, I'll take a 90. Of course I will. But the other side of those big months for you at the moment, I'm guessing, is a shit month, okay? We want consistency. And why do we want consistency? Because if you want to become $1 million biller, you need to have consistency. You cannot drop a month. If you drop an $80,000 month and you're on your way to $1 million, well, guess what? I'm just going to do the math here because my brain ain't working this morning. You're only going to make just over 900 grand in that year. And let's just say you drop 2 months like you're doing at the moment. Let's say you get 2 zeros on your way to $1 million. Well, guess what? On another $88,000. Before you know it, you're nowhere near your $1 million. You're at 824 for the year. So consistency is key. And we've heard this before. So take whatever you're billing at the moment, whatever you make per annum, I want you to turn that number into a monthly figure. And this is what you chase for the next 12 months. And you get consistent. Because to get consistent, you need systems, you need repeatable systems, and you need habits, right? And you need to get that rhythm right. Not booming, not busting, consistent. And once and only once you're consistent, we're going to start to then dial up what you're doing there till we get to that $1 million. But without that consistency, you haven't got a great foundation to build upon. You're just going to keep getting frustrated. You're going to keep dropping months. You're going to keep dropping deals, and you're not going to make much moving towards it. If in 12 months you go from making 500 grand with highs and lows and troughs and bumps and lumps and zeros along the way to 500 grand, same target, but completely consistent, a few things are going to happen. On paper, revenue, the bank, the accountants, your boss, whatever, they're not going to see any difference in revenue or profits. But what they are going to see is you are going to be calm. Because when you feel like you're in control, when you have a rhythm, when you know I do this, I get that. If I do this, I get that. There is a calmness that washes over you. You'll actually probably find that you've got more time at your desk because you're no longer chasing your tail. You're no longer in these panic tailspins. You're no longer freaking out. You've kind of worked out what is my generation cycle, what is the life cycle of a complete, generating a deal to close. You get that stuff worked out. So if at the end of 12 months you've gone from 500K billing to 500K billing, but you've gone from chaos to, measured and consistent, man, you're actually a lot closer to $1 million than you think. A lot closer than you were 12 months ago. So that's my red hot tip for the day, okay? Get consistent. Get every month stacked up as the same as the last. If you have a blowout month, great. Do not allow yourself to have a shitty month after, because that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get consistent. And I'm telling you, you'll be well on your way to making $1 million. Like, share, subscribe. It helps us grow. As always, have an amazing day. May all your deals come true.